board meeting to order. Before we get started, we're going to ask anybody who have cell phones to please put them on silence. Thank you. At this time, we're going to have the roll call by Ms. Badger. I'm sorry, Ms. Badger. At this time, we're going to have the pledge.
Can I get a student? Well, one of my students will come up and lead us in the pledge. Come on. You want to come lead me in the pledge? Come on. Come on. All right. Come on, Kylie. She's shy, but she's coming. Yeah, you do that for me, right? All right, come on.
May you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republics for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Thank you. Did you hear that? They said good extra credit for you.
Thank you. Who else? At this time, we'll have a moment of silence if you choose to. Amen. Now we'll have roll call by Ms. Badger. Here. Here.
Here.
Here.
Here.
Thank you, Ms. Badger Johnson. So sorry. Now we're down to the approval of minutes. Can I get a motion to approve the board meeting for March 23rd, 2026?
I move that we approve the minutes from the March 23rd, 2026 meeting.
Second. It's been moved and properly second that we approve the March 23rd, 2026 board meeting. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposes? So moved. Now we're down to, the board was invited to the Palmetto Educational Summit discussion, but we kind of in a financial, our budget isn't that much right now because it costs like, I think, $480 for registration.
Right. The total will be about $1,500 per person to attend. That's with travel, per diem, hotel, and registration.
So I was talking to Dr. Cave. My recommendation was that we would pick up our own per diem, but being that we only get a stipend, we don't get paid to be on this board. I said the second option could be, who I want to go at first? Who want to attend it, the summit?
I did.
I do.
Okay, so the only fair thing I think to be, if you all want to attend, then we have two other conferences coming up. So I think what we're going to have to do, if two go this time, then at the next one, the next two will go. Either if you want to opt to try to take on some of your own expenses. So I think we need to make a motion.
Well, this is an inaugural conference, so this is their first time doing it, and they're going to do it again next year. So if we skip this year, then that would be fine with me, or just send one.
We have about 5,000 left over. We have enough for 2 people. Yeah, we have enough for 2. We have about 5. We have about 5. You have about $5,000 left over in your budget that we pulled from various places, which will take about
So we just sent two. I opt not, I won't go.
So we'll work to get you registered tomorrow, that's all.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
We'll put it in the record who's going to go.
So the two that will be attending is Ms. Carter and Ms. Maynard.
So Ms. Simmons will work on getting you registered tomorrow because Ms. Penn is out.
Okay,
So we'll work with Ms. Simmons to get you registered tomorrow.
okay.
Ms. Jackson's shaking her head, so we'll get done tomorrow.
Okay. I think everyone knew that our students went to New York, and we're going to have two of the students to come forth and give us presentation of what all they did in New York.
More than two of us, but
Oh, I'm sorry.
We have a few of us tonight that's here. Ms. Grayson. All right, and if you look on the screens, we have put together this very long slideshow. We will not have a chance to see it tonight, but we're going to have it uploaded tomorrow. And it is uploaded. We had AI, our friend AI, to create an entire song about our entire trip. It is on here, so we will have that up on our chorus page, and I will also send it over to Ms. Sanders for the district page. It was very hard to captivate 5 days of excitement of just about 12 to 13 hours a day, and not be able to put just about every day in it. So it is about 37 minutes long. So we won't see the whole thing tonight, but it will be uploaded tomorrow. So again, good evening, Dr. Cave and the honorable members of the Allendale County School Board, faculty, staff, parents, and community leaders. On behalf of the Allendale Fairfax Middle High School Fine Arts Department, it is my distinct honor to introduce a group of outstanding student representatives who are here tonight to share highlights from our educational fine arts trip to New York City. This trip was more than just a getaway. It was a life-changing educational experience that exposed our students to culture, history, music, theater, and opportunities far beyond what many of them have ever seen before. During this 5-day journey, our students visited iconic landmarks, participated in Broadway workshops, attended the Broadway production of Aladdin, explored world-renowned museums, and gained experiences that will remain with them for a lifetime. We would like to sincerely thank Dr. Cave, the school board, our administrators, parents, donors, and every community supporter who helped make this trip possible. Your investment to the fine arts is truly an investment in the future of our children. Because of your support, our students were able to dream bigger, see farther, and understand that there is a world full of possibilities waiting for them. As you listen tonight, we ask that you continue supporting the fine arts programs of Allendale County Schools. It is our hope to make opportunities like this an annual or a biannual tradition so that more students can benefit without the burden of overwhelming financial strain. With continued partnerships, sponsorships, and community support, we continue proving that great things can happen in small towns. At this time, we proudly present our student representatives. We will now have 5 students to come before you and share our short story and highlight the unforgettable experiences from our journey to New York. And with me tonight, I have Mr. Luther Smokes, who is a senior. He's been with me all 4 years that I've been in Allendale, so let's give him a round of applause. We have Miss Shariah Young, we have Miss Patience Tyler, we have Miss Destiny Grayson, we have Miss Jasmine Penn, we have Miss Kylie Cohen, and we have Mr. Mason Jordan. Whew, got all that out. Didn't mess nobody's name up. All right, so the first person is Luther.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Luther Smokes, and I am honored to represent the Allendale Fairfax Middle High School Fine Arts Department. On Monday, April 6th, we departed our school bright and early at 7 o'clock a.m. and began our journey to New York City. Along the way, we have stopped at Baltimore Inner Harbor for the dinner and free time before checking into our hotel. For many of us, this was our first time traveling so far from home, and the excitement was very unforgettable.
Hello,
My name is Shariah. On Tuesday, we arrived in New York City and immediately began exploring. We visited Central Park, toured the Metropolitan Museum of Art, enjoyed dinner together at Dallas Barbecue, and later attended the Broadway show Aladdin at the New Amsterdam Theater. Seeing a live Broadway production inspired many of us as musicians, singers, and performers.
Hello, my name is Patience. Wednesday was one of the most educational and exciting days of our trip. We participated in a Broadway workshop where we were taught by actual cast members from the Broadway production of Aladdin, the very show we watched the night before. During the workshop, we learned actual music, choreography, and performance techniques from the show, giving us a real behind-the-scenes experience of what it takes to perform on Broadway. Being able to sing, dance, and learn directly from professionals who perform on stage every night was inspiring and unforgettable. After the workshop, we visited the 9/11 Memorial in St. Paul's Chapel, shopped at Chelsea's Market, walked the High Line, and viewed the beautiful New York City skyline from the edge. These experiences taught us about history, architecture, perseverance, and the power of dreaming big.
Hello, we are Kylie and Jasmine. On Thursday and Friday, we continue making memories by shopping in Chinatown and Little Italy. Before traveling to Washington, D.C., there we toured monuments and memorials that reminded us of our nation's history and sacrifice.
We return home on Friday with full hearts, unforgettable memories, and a greater appreciation for the arts, education, and the opportunities we have been given. Thank you for helping make this dream a reality.
And again, we want to thank each of you for all of your support and all of your love. We also have with us tonight some of our chaperones that went. If we ask all of our chaperones, whether it's student or community chaperones or parent chaperones, if you would stand at this time so we can see who you were. These are just a few of the folks, adults that went with us. And we brought all of our students back safely. Nobody had a scratch or a bruise. We did have one chaperone that got a little boo-boo, but everybody else, the students came back in one piece. All right, and so finally I want to say, so in that piece about supporting, so we will be having our final fundraiser for the 25-26 school year. It will start tomorrow. We will be bringing back one of Allendale's favorites, which is the Krispy Kreme donut. So please see a chorus member or a band student to get those donuts started tomorrow, and it will go until the 14th, and delivery day will be on the 20th of May. Thank you all so much for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Thank you, students. You did a great job. At this time, we're going to ask Mr. Cave to come forward.
Good afternoon. That's a tough act to follow there, I tell you. But it's exciting because it really plays into what we want to present tonight. First of all, Chairperson Russell, to all the board members, to Dr. Cave, staff, visitors and friends, parents, we're delighted and pleased to have this opportunity tonight to present on behalf of the Allendale County Schools Educational Foundation. Before I go any further, I think we have at least one board member here. And Mr. Broomfield, would you stand? Mr. Broomfield is one of our board members, I think. Is there? Okay, so I think that's it. This month, we've been making the tour of local governments, and we're concluding the month of April here at the school board meeting. So we are delighted that you allowed us this chance. First of all, let me say that the question we always get is, what is an educational foundation? And here's what an educational foundation is. It's a nonprofit organization that supports schools or school districts by raising funds, resources, and community support to enhance educational opportunities and programs, okay? Now, how does it operate? It operates with a volunteer board of directors, and we operate independently from the school district, although they align, and I want you to listen to this carefully, with the district's vision and strategic goals. In other words, we're not trying to do something different. We're not trying to do something that's not a part of the district's mission, vision, and strategic goals. So we raise funds through donations, sponsorships, events, and community partnerships. We also help raise awareness and advocacy for the district, connecting the community with educational initiatives. Examples of activities that educational foundations usually are involved in, and the ones that you're probably most familiar with, are teacher grants and classroom projects, scholarships, also community programs like providing school supplies at the beginning of the year. These are traditional kind of educational foundation activities. However, there are many more, and as you will see, we're starting out with some programs rather than some of these projects. But anyway, at the end of the day, the Educational Foundation serves as a bridge between the community and schools, providing financial support, resources, and recognition to improve educational outcomes and enrich student learning experiences. The question you now may have is, how did this all come about? Well, back before COVID in the 2019-20 year, local attorney Beth Gooding and I and a few other volunteers, some of you probably were involved in it, we organized a tutoring program down at Fairfax Elementary School at the time, and we worked with kindergartners and first graders. Folk like myself who did not believe I could work with children that young, didn't have the patience or whatever, but it was fascinating because I was able to see that with the students I worked with, that we were able to make some progress. Unfortunately, in February, March of 20, COVID hit, and it absolutely brought our program to an end. But we learned and saw a lot from that we said, hey, there must be a way to sustain and keep that effort going because we know that it can make a difference. And so coincidentally, in late 2020, I got a call from Mindy Metz, who is a program person at the SRP Community Reuse Commission, someone I had met on a previous trip, a grant program that the district had received to do STEM education. And they took some of the community people here all across the country to see school and districts where they were doing STEM education with the hope that we could come back and institute that in Allendale County schools. Well, on one of those trips, I mentioned to her the success of our tutoring program, what short time it was in existence, and how we would like to sustain that and whatever. And that was all that was said. Well, in late 2020, she called me and said, hey, look, we've got $15,000 left from the grant that we just did with the STEM education. We can't do a whole lot with it, and I remembered you talked about the Educational Foundation. Would you like that to make it to try to get that going in Allendale? And of course, I said absolutely yes. How quick can you get it? And so we got the money in 2020, and circumstances, illness, retirement, and a lot of other things stood in the way until August of 24. We called a number of people in the community together at the Brandt Building in Allendale, and we said we wanted to start a foundation. And here we are 2 years later, ready to stand this organization up come August 1st. So there's a lot of work that has to be done in order to get us where we need to be. Now, the two programs that one of the things we indicated in the conversation about the money was the tutoring. So obviously we have to do the tutoring program because that is something that we mentioned and something that's specifically listed in the letter when they sent us the money. But we want to do that because, again, that's what we saw as something that could really be successful. In the meantime, what we've also understood is that the school district, Superintendent Cave, has already started a program with older students, I believe it is, tutoring younger students. Is that right?
We have high dosage tutoring.
Right. And so what we would like and what we found out is that maybe one of the things we can do as a foundation is provide some funding so that program can go be done during the summer months is what I understand. So anyway, bottom line is we want to do tutoring. That's program one. The second program is we want to reinstitute the debate program at Allendale Fairfax High School, okay? Now, you know, there are a lot of questions or whatever, but the idea is that it had such a dramatic and tremendous effect on students from Allendale County over the years that we think it's a real legacy that we ought to try to bring back to the district, such that it will be something that might entice other students to want to come because of having a unique program like debate, which is not something that's found in even a lot of the surrounding school districts or school districts in the state. But in my sight, that makes it unique, and it's something that we can do and make a difference for the students here in Allendale County and maybe elsewhere. We're looking to partner with any and everybody. We're going to be making our spill to industry, obviously, but we're going to really focus on the alumni, and we need your help with that. We need you to help us build our database of alumni. The yellow sheet you got, if you will take a minute and look at that, it has the QR code, which you can pull up, and it has the volunteer form on there. We want you to do that, but what we also would like for you to do is, you see our email address at the bottom. We'd like for you to send us the names of your family members, neighbors, people you know who graduated from Allendale County schools, whether it was 10 years ago or maybe 30 years ago, because we want to build a strong base of alumni, because obviously those are some people we're going to be making appeal to try to raise the funds to implement the programs that we've just listed that we want to do for this coming school year. Every school year we will sit down with the superintendent and her staff and others, the board and everybody, and sit down and try to figure out from year to year what projects that we will do that will, again, align with and be a part of the district's vision and mission. So with that having been said, I think, oh, by the way, on that page, on the yellow sheet, you will see the three words that's going to try to keep us in the lane, and that is preserve. Unequivocally, we tell you today that we want to preserve K through 12 public education in Allendale County, period. That's what we want to do, okay? And we know that in order to do that, we've got to grow the district. We've got to make it enticing enough that a lot of other people will say, let's go to school, let's send our children to school in Allendale. So that's a real ambitious, it's going to take a lot of creative and initiative, but the thing that I'm most confident of is that we've got the people in this county, all of you, working together, we can make this happen, okay? And then ultimately what we want to get to is something called excellence, okay? We want to be a model, not just for the state report card where all three schools are excellent. That's great, and we want to do that. But hey, we like to just be excellent in terms of what we offer, what we do, and how we do it, such that other people will see us and say, I want my children in Allendale County schools. And more importantly, that there will be others who will see us and say, we would like to do the same in our community, whether it be a rural community, an urban community, or a community of color, or any school district where they may have declining population or whatever, you name it. We believe that the most important thing going forward for public education is there has to be community input and community responsibility for understanding that if you do that as a community, you begin to change not only the school and your children, but you can change the whole community in terms of how you take on the responsibility of educating your children. So I'm here today to request your involvement, your volunteers. We need a lot of volunteers. We got 5 committees that are working on everything from lining up. We'll have the fundraising campaign announcement shortly. We are looking at building the database. We're doing the marketing. And I would be remiss if I didn't stop and say this, y'all. Superintendent Cave has been very supportive and helpful with us in this process, okay? I got to say that because she took the time to meet with us when we were just starting. And frankly, you know, we understand that a lot of folk don't believe this is going to happen, but, you know, there's no doubt in my mind that it will, and she apparently must believe that because she's been supportive and has pledged her support to try to make this successful. But, you know, by the way, the trip to New York, what struck me about that is, if we get this thing going, then it might make it easier not only for those children to go, but for more to go and for there to be more trips. Okay? So that's what we're trying to get at is what can we do to accentuate and make the educational process, the outcomes in Allendale County Schools the very best that they can be. I'll answer any questions if you have any.
Will the volunteers have to go through a training?
No, the volunteers we're soliciting will work on our committees. Like, for example, the fundraising committee is called Resource and Development Committee. So they'll help us plan and put all that together. We have a marketing committee that's like now working like to get our website and the social media platforms to deal with all of that. We also have a program committee that's working to fine-tune the debate, how we're going to do that and what it's going to cost. And we have a grants committee that's looking for grants to help with, raise money for the foundation and projects that we might like to do as we go forward. So we need a lot of volunteers because it's a lot of work. In fact, right now we have a 10-person board, and I'm the only one on the board who does not have a full-time job. Okay, everybody else is working. All right, for the most part. Even Ms. Brufley, he's working part-time, even though he's a retiree like me as well. But so we need the more hands. The more we can do, the quicker we can do it. Because we'd like to really make this thing happen and be able to come back next year this time and report to you that we've had a very successful year and ready for another.
So the tutoring part, you all will go into the schools, or is that after school?
Well, the specifics have not been worked out, but the idea is to bring community folk who can be tutors to students who might be having trouble. Now, there's a lot that we have to work out with the district in terms of where that would be, who that would be. And of course, tutors would have to go through the clearance process that the school district has, the training, the orientation, and whatever. But the idea is to try to match students up who may be having a problem that somebody, an adult or somebody in the community may have an expertise and be able to help with that tutoring. So the idea is to help every student get to a place where they can perform, where they can do what they need to do to move forward in terms of the grades and that kind of thing. So there's a lot yet to be worked out, and we got a short time to work it out because we really right now mainly want to get help support the program that Superintendent Cave already has in place. Any other questions, comments? Please do the QR code, sign up. And we'll when you do that, we'll know it, and we'll be able to assign you to our committees. You'll see a lot happening because again, August 1st is when we want to stand the organization up and make it so it's ready to go. That we got all the pieces in place to really work and organize. That we can focus then on the programs and whatever. Hopefully by then we will have raised the money that we will need to have in order to implement these programs for this next school year. All right, any questions, comments? If none, thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Cave.
Take care.
Thank you.
We're now down. Thank you, Mr. Cave, for that personal invitation. It sounds like a great program. We are now down to greetings. Mrs. Tiffany McNeely, Director of Federal, State Assessments and Accountability, Programs, Gifted and Talented, Multilingual, and LETRS Coordinator. It's Superintendent Operational Updates, Facility Updates, Curriculum Updates, HR Updates, Data Review, iReady, and Benchmarks.
Good evening, everyone. It is a pleasure to welcome you at tonight's School District Board meeting. We are grateful for your presence and appreciate the time you have taken to be here. To our board members, thank you for your leadership and continued dedication to serving our students, staff, and families. The responsibility you carry is significant and your commitment is truly valued. To our guests and community members, your presence matters. A strong school district is shaped not only by the decisions made here, but also by the engagement and support of the community it serves. While the work before us can be complex, our promise remains clear. We are here to provide the best possible opportunities for every student in our district. That shared focus brings us together and keeps us moving forward. Thank you again for being here and for your support to our schools.
All right. Good evening to everyone. First of all, let me apologize because I see some of you fanning. So as we go through and you hear some of our budget constraints and you hear what's happening to the facilities, you'll understand why you're fanning, okay? So I apologize, but I promise you we're going to try to get it worked on. Well, we are in the process of getting all of those things done. So good evening and welcome. I always start with telling you a little bit about some of the things that go on and how my work impacts student achievement, okay? Because everything that we do has to impact student achievement because they are our customers. So I attend the superintendent's roundtable. There I learn all the new policies, or I learn all of the things that are going on around the state so that I'm able to come back and implement those. I have executive cabinet meeting with a group of people who lead the school district along with me, and they do lots of things to run their departments and make sure things are working for the best interest of children. We have progress monitoring meetings at every one of our schools. We're getting ready to have another round so we can make sure that we're all on task here and making sure the children are performing. I'm on the chamber board. So I've had chamber board meeting. We'll have it again very shortly. We also became the chamber member of the month, so we're excited about being recognized by them, but they provide lots of support to the school district. We've had board budget meeting session 3. I feel like we've been in board meetings, budget meetings every single day, but we have been working on making sure that our board budget is ready for approval. Celebration of Administrative Professionals Day. You might have seen some of the posts on Facebook as we celebrated our administrative professionals. They are some of the most important people in the buildings because we cannot function without them. We've had personnel interviews and staffing meetings. We continue to have those. Dr. Miller makes sure that I stay on top of our staffing meetings. Principal supervisor coaching sessions. So I supervise principals, so in order to keep me abreast of all of those things, I am a part of a principal supervisor coaching session. So I have a meeting every single week with my person who coaches me on how to be able to coach my principals. We've had budget planning meetings, and I said we continue to have those. And then last but not least, we are implementing what we call student motivation, and we have had implementation meetings every Friday, as well as doing walkthroughs and supporting that staff. Ms. Davis and her team in technology lead that initiative along with the principals. I always provide a superintendent's update, a week at a glance, so that our board members know what's happening in the school district. Board members, it's a work in progress. As I said to you, some of the dates probably won't change, but the times will be added. As you can see, I don't have the middle school times there. I will get with Dr. Dandy so I can add all those times, and I'll update that document and send to you. But that document right now has most of the events that are going on in the school towards the end of the year, so you are familiar with what is happening and that we can make sure that you're there at any event that you possibly can. I want to take the opportunity and just personally thank the board members for your sacrifice, your services, your steadfast belief in what we can accomplish together. Now as we move forward, I want us to carry the same spirit of appreciation into our daily work and let us remain focused, committed, and relentless in our pursuit of excellence, because I know that together, with the 5 of you and me, we can do it. I'm going to stop here. I'll be back in front of you in a few moments, but I'm going to take a break and allow HR as well as some of our curriculum updates to come forward. Dr. Miller.
Thank you, Dr. Cave. and to the board members this evening and all those who are present. This evening, I will take liberty to give you an update from the Office of Human Resources. As you all know, this is a wonderful time of the year, but it's also a challenging time of the year. And with the Office of Human Resources, we are hiring and we're doing some of the great things that we need to do to ensure that the best possible individuals are in front of our children. With that being said, we have some new hires, third grade teacher, as well as, and I say or fifth grade, because we're working towards specifically whether or not the particular person will actually fit in those roles, but they are aware that those two possibilities exist. We have a sixth grade ELA social studies teacher that has been hired, high school math teacher, high school ELA teacher, high school social studies teacher, and head football coach, assistant athletic director. Also the auto mechanics teacher. So we have found an auto mechanics teacher, and I think that that's worth applauding for. We also have hired, and my mistake inadvertently, I left off, we hired for a teacher assistant over at and it's right now it's temporary, but it is someone to serve one of our students over at the middle high school. But it's not on there because it's really more like a long-term sub position at the moment until we look at further plans moving into the next school term. And then the director of technology. When we look at certified vacancies, we have a list of vacancies. I will tell you this, these vacancies are ongoing, and when you see vacancies and when you see hires, because we are constantly hiring, we are constantly interviewing, so this is on a rolling basis. So even right now, there are some positions that I consider to still be vacant, but we already have identified individuals that we're interviewing, already have interviews on the schedule, and so by the time our next board meeting comes, May 18th, I believe it is, some of those things are going to decrease in terms of the number of vacancies that we have. But right now, you will see a 4K teaching vacancy, kindergarten teacher, third grade, fifth grade, and you see that again because it's two positions there. SPED resource teacher and self-contained SPED teacher at the elementary school, STEM teacher at the elementary school, SPED resource teacher at the middle school, 7th grade social studies, 7th grade science teacher, coordinator of extended learning opportunities and working through that to officially hire somebody for that, and then speech pathologist. We have the classified vacancies, custodian at the elementary, custodian at middle high, food service manager for the elementary, and food service operator for the elementary, and then a paraprofessional position. What I also want to caution you when you look at these vacancies is that we are in the midst also of transferring. So there are some transfer requests. They are, as Dr. Cave and I and others on the team are working to do placements. There are changes that are happening within the district. So when you see that, you also keep in mind that some of them are vacancies just because we're in the midst of moving things around. And so as you get to May 18th, you'll see some of those things flush out. Human resource impact. We've maintained a 100% teacher fill rate across all positions, in person, virtual, and contracted. So I think that that's worth applauding there. So even if we have to have virtual or contracted or our direct employees for in-person, we have maintained 100% teacher fill rate, eliminating instructional vacancies. We've achieved and sustained 90% or greater employee retention rate, ensuring continuity and organizational stability, and that is an ongoing, it's kind of fluid. And then eliminating reliance on external substitute staffing services by establishing a district-operated substitute program with comprehensive in-house training. We've implemented vector solutions to enhance professional development and compliance training systems. We've reduced reliance on contracted teachers, resulting in cost savings and improved staffing stability. We've introduced employee wellness day initiatives to support our staff well-being, and sustained and strengthened university partnerships to support educator pipeline development to expand educator pipeline through field experiences. We've also provided praxis preparation support through 240 tutoring and varsity tutors for alternatively certified teachers. I would pause here and I can make a connection. Dr. Cave and myself will be meeting with the Epicenter on Thursday, April the 30th, and we're working through them as well to get some additional praxis support, get some additional coaching. And the great thing is that we also have a paraprofessional who's gone through the program, and with the help of all of the services that they provide, that she'll be graduating. Her name is Miss Wanda Calhoun. Will be graduating on this Saturday with her bachelor's degree. This is what we're talking about, being able to grow our own. And she's just one, but we're looking for many, many more after her. All right? Transition to electronic distribution of contracts and agreements for increased efficiency. Everyone knows employees certified contracts went out on Friday, classified, been going out throughout today. After I leave here, I'll be going back to the office again to continue working to ensure that everyone's receiving all of their contracts and agreements by this evening, no later than in the morning. Collaborated with the superintendent and finance department to support strategic staffing decisions for 26-27. We redrafted employee contracts to ensure compliance with new legislation and evolving regulatory requirements, which is why we're where we are in terms of distributing our contracts and our agreements. We want to make sure that we were aligned to those new requirements. Partnered to launch student interest initiatives in education career pathways, utilize alternative certification pathways to successfully fill critical vacancies, and also strengthened international teacher program through improved communication and coordination with new legal partners. And that is my time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Miller, for doing a great job. Next, we're going to move to our Curriculum and Instruction Department, led by Dr. Marcus Scott. He's going to talk to you, board, about many of the things that we're doing and the impact that every single thing that we do in curriculum instruction, how it impacts student achievement. So today we're going to talk about our walkthroughs and what we're seeing in our classrooms, because I wanted you to have that information. Okay?
Good evening again, all. As Dr. Cave said, I'm Dr. Scott. I will be going through the Allendale County Impact. That's our Curriculum and Instruction Department. We call it Impact because, as we said, we want to make sure that we're impacting student achievement, and so that stands for instructional moves, impacting assessment, curriculum, and instruction. When we first started the year, I met with the coaches and we came up with our 6 priorities for the year. These were our 6 priorities that we talked about. MTSS, we wanted to develop that. We also mentioned this before. We wanted to establish a data room at each school, walkthroughs, weekly PLCs, teacher clarity, and the coaching cycle. So at our last meeting, we just talked about, as a district, how we felt like we're doing on each one. And of course, all of these items, our priorities, are more multi-year systems, so we don't expect to be proficient in one year, but we wanted to make sure this first year that we laid the groundwork for everything that we did. So 3 areas we found that we still need to improve for next year. That's MTSS, data room, and the coaching cycle. And it's 3 that we felt we were emerging. And again, it's different per school. Some schools are ahead of the others. And I gave you that in your packet. But the 3 areas we're emerging is walkthroughs, PLCs, and teacher clarity. 2 of them, walkthroughs and teacher clarity, we'll talk about today. So just an overall summary of what you're going to hear today. We do have a strong instructional monitoring process that we established this year. We established the framework for making sure, the foundation for making sure that we're getting in the classrooms and we're understanding what's going on instructionally with all of our teachers. So we did see a high alignment to the standards and lesson plans, things that we feel like we need to improve on, and you'll hear this throughout, is student ownership and engagement. So we need to shift a lot of what we're doing when we walk into class. And talking to some of my colleagues, it's not just us, but it's across the state. A lot of teachers are still trying to do all the work. We want the students to do the heavy lifting. So we need to have student-centered classes, because usually the person that's doing the most talking is doing the most learning. So that's what we're trying to shift to. All right, so our scripts for our walkthroughs, and these are our focus walks. So these are the admin and the coaches. They go from class to class. The requirement was they do 10 a week. Some met that, some did not. But we had over, and I don't see that slide, maybe it was taken out, over 1,000 walkthroughs so far, which is excellent. So we're definitely getting in the classrooms. Out of that 1,000 focus walks, 84% are posting standards, and 85% the lessons are aligned. And then 81% teachers are referring to the standards. So we don't just want it posted. We want to make sure that the teachers are telling the students what the standard is, and for the most part, we're doing that. The strongest performance for that was at the high school, which I'll talk about individually in a second. And then one of the questions was about professionalism as well. That was a high area as well that we had. So our major growth areas, collaboration. So we didn't see a lot of collaborative learning, only 34%. That's the area, along with, again, allowing students to do the talking, working with each other, that we have to work on. 51% of the students can explain what they learned. That's the area we have to work on, because that's a little more than half. And then engagement, as I talked about before, only 61% overall engagement. And then we need to have stronger checking for understanding. So we have to make sure that we're also not only asking questions, but we're making sure that all students understand the questions as well. So we have to do a better job of checking for understanding. So our highlights, we did 3 focus walk forums. So from the first one to the third one, we did see increase, although we're not where we need to be. We did see an increase in student engagement, and that's from August to now. Student work displayed also significantly increased from August until now. Collaboration actually decreased. So that's, again, as much as you're hearing it, they'll hear it next year, because that's the area that we need to see improve. And then instruction remain teacher-led, as I mentioned before, and we want that to change to student-led. Just go from school to school to show you their strengths. Engagement at the elementary school was not where we need to be, but it's 39%. Student articulation and collaboration, all 3 of those areas you'll see across the board we need to work on. But elementary had a strong teacher clarity, which is making sure that they understood the learning intentions and that they were posted, but again, low student ownership. On the middle school level, engagement was higher at 69%. The student articulation was at 51%, and collaboration at 31.5%. All of those we want to increase. On the middle school level, they need stronger usage of the standards and making sure that they're mentioning the standards to the students. And then on the high school level, the lesson plan alignment was 90%. The engagement was 72%, and the student articulation was at 70%. And also high school participated the most in the walkthroughs. But their collaboration, again, is still low. So as you can see, that's why we're focused on that across the district. With that, those are what the principals and assistant principals and coaches evaluate. That's their walkthroughs. We also do a monthly walkthrough to make sure that what the coaches and the principals are seeing are what we see in central office. So we calibrate once a month with them. And this is what that data said, that leaders aligned on the expectations. So pretty much we can feel like with fidelity, what they're seeing is what we're expecting them to see. Checking for understanding was only at 56%. We talked about, again, a lot of the things you're hearing over again, because those are the things we need to work on. Student articulation was under 50% we have to work on. And then student-centered learning. Instructional strategies that we saw, and cold called is very heavily used across the district, and monitoring. So we did see a lot of that. We have to see more turn and talk, which allows students to talk to each other, student discourse, and then increase collaborative structures. So some of our takeaways is we have a strong foundation on our teacher walkthroughs, but now we need to focus on student outcomes and letting students do the majority of the work and moving from compliance to ownership. This is the slide that I was talking about. We have over 1,400 observations done by admin and coaches, so that's to be commended. And 200 of them was calibration walks, so good job with that. Our next steps. This is what we're looking to do for the rest of the year and then next year as well. So make student discourse, collaboration a district-wide instructional priority. I talked about the 6 priorities we had, so we're moving. Again, we don't want to add a bunch of priorities. We want to keep the 6 that we have, but we're adding 2. And of course, because student discourse came up and engagement came up so much, that will be one of them. Increase checking for understanding. So we want to make sure we increase that, and also the turn and talk in small groups. So engagement strategies overall. We're going to continue our calibration walks. Ensure every student can explain what they're learning. So those 3 questions, we have to ask more with fidelity to make sure that all students are learning. We're moving back to classroom mosaic because although we did a lot of walkthroughs, sometimes the feedback didn't get back to the teachers if the administrator or the coach didn't send it. Classroom mosaic automatically sends it to the teacher, and that feedback is critical because there's no need for us to do the walkthroughs if the teachers are not seeing what we're putting as something they need to work on or something that they're doing well. Walkthroughs address student-centered learning. We're going to increase teach like a champion strategies, and then we're going to move from standards being posted into standards understood by students. In closing, again, our foundation is there, so I'm happy with the direction that we're headed because it's only going to get better next year, and you'll see a lot of these numbers double. So the next level is deepening the instructional strategies and practices and having commitment over just compliance. All right, and you see that focus area of student voice, engagement, and ownership because everything we do with students first in mind. All right, and those are the 8 priorities that we will look at next year. You see the 2 that was added. I already talked about student voice and discourse and engagement, but the other one will be literacy. We're going to get together this summer and create a literacy plan for the district so we can make sure that all students are reading at on grade level or above. Any questions?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
With the elementary data that you presented, do you find that the problem lies with kindergarten, 1st grade, and 2nd, or is it 3rd, 4th, and 5th? Can you tell the difference?
To be honest, most of the data for elementary is going to come from your 3rd, 4th, and 5th because those are our tested areas.
Okay.
So, again, it's a district-wide concern. However, we get into those classes more.
Okay.
But if I had to say, it would be 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Good question. All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Scott. We always like to keep you informed about what we're doing and how we're trying to make an impact on student achievement in our school district. All right, so next I'm up again and I'm going to show you the data. Data drives every single thing, and we're going to talk a little bit about where we are. Now, in order for me to do this, I like to move closer to the screen, okay? So I'm going to move just a little bit so that I'll be able to talk with you more. So every year we give the iReady. They're telling me to take my mic with me if I'm going to move. Every year we give the iReady test, and it is one of our benchmarks. So it's a formative assessment that we provide, and it allows for our children, for us to have a good picture of where our children are, where they are in the beginning of the year, what they come in knowing, what they know in the middle of the year, and where they are at the end. Is also directly tied to pay for performance. So our teachers are really excited about to see the growth that their children make because it's tied to additional pay for them. So this year in kindergarten, you can tell by the numbers that are there. I'm going to shine my little light. I don't know if it's going to show on the screen. It's probably not. Okay, so we can tell that we have several children in the 2 green areas, because you have that. In the 2 green areas, those are the children who are probably going to meet or exceed on the state assessment. So if you add the 39% to the 33%, you'll see what you get. That's 22 children and 19 in kindergarten. Now, those children don't take state assessment, but they do progress along the continuum of learning. So we want the most of our children to be in the green area. What I'm so proud about in kindergarten is we don't have anybody in the red. So that means that our kindergarten teachers are doing magnificent. And I think we might have a kindergarten teacher in this room, do we? All right, Mr. Johnson. All right, and he won some of that money last year. I wonder if you go get some this year. All right, grade 1, we're doing great in grade 1. So we have 18 children in the higher area of the green and 5 there in the second category. We do have a significant number of children in the middle, in the yellow. That doesn't mean that those children are not progressing. It just means they need a little more time to be able to master the standard. And, you know, some children don't do well on assessments and testing. So we're hopeful. But I'm proud of that as well because we only have one child that's working below grade level, okay? So they're doing great there as well. So we are really coming along. I know Ms. Patterson is going to look at that score there where she has 59% of the children there who are in the yellow, and I can provide you some justification. We did have a grade level without a teacher. So we have a long-term sub in that classroom. Don't we have a long-term teacher that's in that classroom? So we have some struggles there going on, but we're going to be resilient, and we're going to bring a lot of those children in for summer school. Grade 2, we're moving along. They're kind of spread it out across grade 2. So, you know, grade 2 is really when you start changing the standards, and the standards get very, very difficult at grade 2. And you're not learning to read, you are reading to learn, okay? So it becomes much more difficult then, okay? So that's why we have children spread it along, but they're still doing well. Now, 3rd grade, I was actually shocked when I saw the 3rd grade scores because we were without a teacher in 3rd grade. So when I pulled this up, I said, oh my, look at what 3rd grade's doing. Okay, so they're coming along. I'm proud of the teachers and their work. Grade 4 is doing good. We have some work to do in grade 4 because we got 42% of those children there that are in the yellow, and then we have another 20% that's at that bottom quartile. So we got some work that we have to do there. So we're going to be making some adjustments to how we teach those children in grade 4. And in grade 5, kind of spread it out almost everywhere. So we know that those are the areas that we really have to focus on. Okay? All right. And that's in ELA. Now, this is mathematics. Now, mathematics across the nation, people are struggling with mathematics. And we're working really hard with it. We use iReady. It's scripted for the children, but sometimes we have to make adjustments to what we're teaching. So you can see grade kindergarten is doing their thing. because they have nobody in the red again. I'm so proud of Kay. And grade 1, they only have 3 that are in the red, but we have a significant number of our children who are in the middle of the road. So I need parents to help us do some of that teaching at home. And when we open summer school, and we'll make the summer school report next time on May 18th, we have 100 slots, right, Dr. Scott, for summer school, for elementary school. I want every slot filled because we have a grant that's 100% free for kindergarten, for elementary school. The teachers are paid for, the bus drivers are paid for, the food, everything's paid for 100 children. So we need to pack the house every single day so we can get these children where they need to be. I'm not going to go specifically, but you can see most of the children are in the middle of the road there. We do have a significant number that are in the 2 greens, but we need to do some work, okay? This is grades 6 through 8th. Now, they are working really hard at the middle school. We do have a significant number of children that are in the bottom quartile there. So let's talk about why. Why are they there? Because probably when they were in elementary school, they did not master all the skills to be successful with the additional content. So they're struggling with some of the content. Middle school content is not very easy. And you have to be able to read and do your multiplication facts. So we have some additional work. We also have a summer school program going on over there, and we need to make sure we have that packed. I think we probably can take about 40 children, can we, Dr. Dandy? About 40, okay. But they're working hard. Dr. Dandy is in every PLC I can think of, and she guides almost all of them. And so they're coming along, but she realizes that we still have some work to do, and I need my parents to help us because we can't do it alone. All right. And then mathematics for middle grades, they are a part of the Palmetto Math Project. We have had some difficulty with math there. We will make some adjustments this year, this next year, as we continue to move on with mathematics along the way. But we have most of the children there who are in the bottom quartile of learning. Now let's look at our SC Ready here. This is our preparation for our SC Ready test. So this is our 4th grade benchmark in 4th grade science. This class has been taught by Dr. Miller as well as the teacher. Dr. Miller he did double duty, in case you didn't know. He went there as well as did his HR job. So he's to be commended because he has done a lot of work in terms of getting these children to master those concepts. So they're coming along, and science is not easy by any means, but we're going to get there. Dr. Miller, stop frowning up. All right. You have his glasses. Okay. 6th grade science, these are tested areas. Okay. So here's where we are here in terms of how the children are doing with 6th grade science as well. We have 88% of them that haven't mastered, but we're working, we're pushing it for the next few weeks to see whether or not we're going to make it. Okay. And then here is English 2. We have 11 of the students. Remember, the classes are small. Okay? And this is just one snapshot. This is the 3rd grade, the 3rd quarter benchmark. So we have some children that have not mastered, but the test is very difficult. So we're going to see how they turn out. But we also have another group here where 27% of them have mastered. So hopefully the combination will have enough children who master that English content. Here we have U.S. history. We're struggling in some of our content. Why? Because we have to be able to what? What's the big word? Got to be able to read. Can't read the content, it's very difficult. And then biology, we have some classes that have done better than others in terms of taking the EOC. All right? And that's where we are in terms of our current performance. Don't let the results at this time shake you up. It's just a snapshot. Children have a tendency to perform better on the actual exam. So we'll see how they turn. I have great faith in them. Sometimes they surprise you. Okay? That's it for me. I think that, I'm not sure who's next. I don't have my agenda.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Now we are down to the policy updates. GBC, GCB, GCK, GCOA, EF, JLCC, JLCD, JLCD-R, JLCD-B, and JLCF.
I'm still up with policies. One of the major functions of a board is to approve policy and help make sure that we're implementing those things that legislature wants us to and making decisions that are right for children. So we have several policies that we've already reviewed. I'm just going to give a brief synopsis of GBC, GCB, GCK, GBC, and GCOA. That's a lot of them, isn't it? So these are the staff policies. Dr. Miller will assist me if I say anything wrong, but I'm just going to give you a summary. All of these policies have been updated to follow along with the proviso that we have to notify teachers in writing of in their contract, we have to have their salary as well as their location. And then 14 days before they get to school, we have to provide them a letter with their current salary and location 14 days before students return. So we updated every one of these policies to reflect that piece. And if I don't do that, then we're fined. I don't want to be fined, so every teacher's going to get a letter. And we've updated the contracts. That's what Dr. Miller and Ms. Hall have been staying late and working on making sure that they're correct. So the contracts they're receiving now have their current salary. The letter that they will get next year, well, in August or July, it will have their upcoming salary. And we did not put the upcoming salaries because we have not finished the board process and we haven't approved the pay schedule and all of those things yet. You haven't done that. So that's why. Okay? Any questions about those policies? All right. So at this time, I will ask for a motion to approve the second reading. Remember, we did the first reading in February. We skipped a month so they could sink in, and now we're back again for the second reading and approval. So I need a motion to approve these four, and then I'll do the others.
I move that we approve GBC staff compensation, GCB professional staff contracts, GCK professional staff assignments, and GCOA evaluation of instructional staff.
Second.
It's been moving properly second that we approve policy GBC staff compensation, policy GCB professional staff contracts, GCK professional staff assignment and transfers, policy GCOA evaluation of instructional staff. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposes? So move.
Thank you, board. All right, I will send those to school board to get formatted and sent. Now the next one is EF Food Services. Ms. Busby is here. Ms. Busby, you want to review this one quickly? I tried to go over it with them today. You good? Okay, it's right here. It's the EF Food Services one that you brought to us. So this one had to be updated, the guidelines and standards established by the federal law. So what we did was we made sure that we updated this one based upon the law to align with health and fitness for the students, making sure they have adequate meals, satisfactory learning experiences, and to provide free and reduced meals for students. But you know, we are a CEP school district, so all of our children eat free. But we aligned this one. The main thing that we wanted to do in here is to make sure that we follow the guidelines that say that we cannot publicly identify or stigmatize any child because they can't have an unpaid meal, deny any student of a reimbursable meal, serve alternate or downgraded meals to any other children, discard a meal after it's been served to a student, require a child to perform any kind of chores or anything of that nature, restrict them from participating in extracurricular activities because they owe a fine for food, deny participation in graduation or get their report cards, or withhold diplomas or anything. So that's the main change to this one, so that we can get it in a line. Okay? Any questions about policy GF? Okay, if there are no questions, I'll need a motion for approval.
I move that we approve policy EF food service.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second that we adopt and approve EF food services. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposes? So moved.
Thank you so much, board, and we have maybe about 5 more, okay? Thank you. It takes a lot to be able to read the policies, understand them, and I appreciate your patience. So next, we have policy GLCC. All of these policies are involving students and our nursing and our medical services that we provide in the school district. So this is the communicable infectious disease that we have a policy for HIV infection here. We also have a policy for that we make sure we protect the rights of those children who may have HIV. We protect the rights of children who may have head lice, any children who may have bed bugs. We cannot make them feel less than important. Okay, so these policies really talk about protecting the rights of children. Then we have policy GLCD, assisting students with medications. As you know, we have diabetic children. We have children who use allergic. They have EpiPens. We may have children who have a breathing machine. We have students that have diaper needs. We have students who have all kinds of needs in our school district. And we have to make sure that our nurses are equipped to be able to provide that care, but we also have to make sure that our teachers understand the importance of making sure that they understand that care as well. Then we have policy GLCD, and this is the regulation in which the nurses have outlined how we care for those children who have additional needs and take medicine. As I said to you earlier, we have to have a second responder in the building who can also administer, so the nurse trains that person to be able to give medication just in case the nurse is out. And then we also have a policy that we use life-saving medications, for example, nasal spray, Narcan, albuterol, inhalers like an EpiPen. We have to have guidelines for those so that we're able to use those to save a life in case we need. And then the last policy, JLCF, is about the nurses. It's about how they provide medical assistance to students, and that a registered nurse is the lead person in the district, and they do all the telecommunications, and they assure that we provide adequate health care. So it outlines their duties and their services. So if you have no questions, or if you have any questions, let me hear those now, and I'll try my best to answer those. Okay. If we have no questions, then I need a motion to approve those 5 policies that deal with nurses. And as I said to you, we have a lot of new ones, so I'll be bringing you probably 10 more next meeting. Okay?
I move that we approve the second reading of the following 5 policies: JLCC, Communicable Infectious Disease and Conditions; JLCD, Assisting Students with Medication; JLCDR, Regulations Assisting Students with Medications; JLCDB, Use of Life-Saving Medications; and JLCF, School Nurses.
A second.
It's been moved and properly second that we accept the policy JLCC, Communicable Infectious Disease and Condition, policy JLCD, Assisting Students with Medication, policy JLCD-R, Regulation Assisting Students with Medication, policy JLCDB, Use of Life-Saving Medication, policy JLCF, School Nurses. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposes? So moved.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. We'll get it taken care of. That's all right. I can talk loud. I'm good. All right. Thank you so very much.
Okay, we're down to our district finance report, the monthly finance report by Ms. LaShonda Jackson, Director of Finance, and the 2026-2027 Allendale County School District Budget, first reading.
Before Ms. Jackson comes, I just want to take the opportunity to commend the Finance Department and just to commend Ms. Jackson. This is her first year in her role. She's done a really good job pulling it all together. I think this is the wrong slide that we have. It's the monthly report one, but she can go over it without it. They have the hand copy. Oh, they just had it up there. Yeah, they did just have it up there.
Good evening. This is the April 2026 finance report for the March 2026 statements. On June 30th, 2025, the Allendale County School Board and South Carolina Department of Education approved a $16,769,513 operating budget. As of March 31st, 2026, total revenues received are $11,290,578. Total expenses through March 31st, 2026, $11,338,027, which is a deficit of $47,449. Any questions?
Last time, we had a deficit of $47,449, and this time we have a surplus. No, we had the surplus last time, and this time we have a deficit. So to what can we attribute that?
It depends on how the revenue comes in from the counties. If she makes, even if it comes in March, but the deposit doesn't actually hit to April, it's not going to show up until the next month.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No.
This time I'd like to ask the board to make a motion to accept the March 2026 financial statement as presented.
I move that we accept the March 2026 finance statements as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second that we accept our 2026 budget presented by our director, Ms. Jackson. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposes? So moved, Ms. Jackson. Thank you.
Okay, so now it's time for the first reading of the budget. All right, so we changed the slides a bit for you. Ms. Jackson worked all weekend to make sure And we will travel to Columbia to meet with Superintendent Weaver on Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Before Ms. Jackson begins, I would like to invite 2 board members to attend with us. I'd like for you to go in support of us, if at all possible. If there are 2 of you who are willing to go, maybe we can discuss that, or you can let me know at a later time, but we'll be leaving. You're welcome to ride with me. I'll drive you up there and bring you back home safely. But you let me know, because I really need 2 board members. Last year we've had 2 go both times. So I look forward to you joining Ms. Jackson and myself.
When is it?
It's Wednesday we have to be there by 1, so we'll be leaving around 11:30, because it takes us about an hour and a half. We'll probably be leaving 11 o'clock. Okay. I'm gonna stand right back here. Pull up the rear.
This is the first reading of the general fund budget for the 26-27 school year. As you can see, this is our budget calendar. We started this process early January, and we're still meeting, still discussing. The things that we have scheduled, like Dr. K said, on Wednesday, we will be presenting the first reading of the budget to the Department of Education. Our second reading of the budget will be May 18th at our board meeting. The third and final reading of the budget will be June 29th at the board meeting. And if necessary, we will have to present again to the State Department. This is our enrollment overview. I had a couple of typos. This is the first meeting, so I did notice them, so they will be corrected by the next meeting. On my graph, the current enrollment is 771 students. Elementary, we currently have 390 students. Middle school, 180, and high school, 201. Projected for the 26-27 school year, 744, which is a decrease of 27 students. We're losing 20 students in the elementary, 13 in the middle, and we're gaining 6 students at the high school. Overall, the enrollment decreased by 27 students. Well, it's projected to decrease by 27 students. But we have a growth at the high school level, and we can contribute that growth to our Aspire Academy. And this current enrollment is as of today, April 27th. Any questions? On the next slide is our 135th day average daily membership. We got 717.95. The bar graph shows the 5-year trend. We have a decline. So in the last 5 years, enrollment has declined by 197 students.
I really need y'all help in getting the students back. We need to work to figure out what can we do.
Our budget priorities this year were recruitment and retention. The recruitment and retention strengthen the workforce stability, create a pipeline to improve retention for certified teachers, school improvement, improve academic outcomes, support teaching and learning, fiscal responsibility, structure capital costs effectively, and trying to enter into some cost-saving partnerships. Any questions? The new position that we're looking to get for the 26-27 school year is Coordinator of Extended Learning Opportunities at our Aspire Academy. We feel this position is important because our Aspire Academy has experienced significant enrollment growth. It has expanded extended learning opportunity, supports Aspire Academy growth, increases access to enrichment and academic support, proactively planning for growth, aligns staffing with enrollment increases, prepares for future expansion and program needs. This has an impact on our graduation rate. It's projected to be 81.6%, provides critical support that contributes to student success, strengthening pathways for academic achievement. The financial impact of adding this new position is $117,800. We feel this investment ensures Aspire Academy remains a safe, supported, and high-quality learning environment while effectively managing continued student growth.
So as you know, we are changing our administration there in terms of oversight. So we'll have a new person. That's what this position is about. We also have 3 students that will graduate this year. If it had not been for Aspire Academy, those 3 students would have been dropouts. So it's doing what it's supposed to do. We just have to make sure we have the staff there, the right people working. We're remodeling the other side of the building for them so we can make it as safe and secure as possible. But we also, how many students are there now, Dr. Scott? There are 29. There are 29 students that are there. And I can say that while they have their challenges, they all have moved along. We probably have 2 or 3 that are struggling a bit, but I saw some of the grades today for the high school and the middle school children, so it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do, and it's supposed to help the children who are behind. That's why it was designed, because we were losing enrollment. Children were not able to come to school. They didn't want to come to school, so we created a learning environment where they can come and work in a small group and get caught up, because it doesn't make sense to have a 16-year-old in middle school. Doesn't make sense to have a 18-year-old in the 9th grade. Just doesn't make sense when those children, we can provide extended learning opportunities for them to get caught up. So that's what that program does.
Dr. Cave,
Yes, ma'am.
well, can the board tour that school?
Sure, the board can tour the school anytime. You just tell me when you're ready to go. Right, and Dr. Scott and I, or Dr. Scott can meet you down there. Not a problem.
Any other questions? Legislative considerations for our certified teachers, a step in salary increase. So the starting salary for first-year teachers will be $50,500. That's a $2,000 increase to each cell on the current teacher scale. If this is approved, the additional cost to the district will be $122,253 in our general fund and $21,516 in our federal. These are the considerations based on district discussions. This is for classified and administrative staff. We're proposing a step and 2% increase. The financial impact will be $251,377 increase to our general fund budget, $33,523 to our federal programs budget. These increases support employee retention, recognize performance and experience, and strengthens our team. Any questions? Classified and certified staff bonuses. Certified teachers will be entitled to a retention bonus, performance pay, Christmas bonus. Classified staff will be entitled to a retention bonus of $1,000, Christmas bonus of $1,000. The bonus cost to the district, the retention bonus, each employee will receive the $1,000. It's paid half in the spring, half in the fall. The impact to the district will be $189,646, and this is based on 176 employees as of April 24th. And this could go down if we don't have all those employees returning next year. And with the Christmas bonus, each employee receives a $1,000 payment in December. The total cost again to the district is $189,646. It's also based on 176 employees as of April 24th. And again, if we do not have all those employees, this cost could go down as well. The state legislative updates, watercraft property taxes. This bill reduces watercraft property taxes by approximately 43% of the fair market value. This reduction effectively lowers the property tax on watercraft from 10% to 6%. And this would not be a major impact to us. We do not receive a lot of revenue from the watercraft property taxes. And then again, our insurance reserve fund, the rate is increasing. So insurance is going up like it did last year. Any questions? This is the FY27 Ways and Means Committee projections based on the funding we are due to receive. For the 27 year, the projection is $5,874,245.84, which is an increase of $239,875.13 from 26 school year. Any questions? As Dr. K spoke about earlier, it's a little warm in here. We've had a lot of facility issues, problems. So this year has been very challenging with our facilities. It's due to aging infrastructure. So these are some of the things that we had to fix, repair, or in the process of updating for this, during this current year. For our facilities, we had the stadium lights, a roof leak at the district office, have some issues with our water pipes, the lift station at Allendale Fairfax Elementary School, with the systems, the HVAC system, our chillers, boilers, the electrical at the middle school, and on our CTE wing at the high school. Technology, we have 4 servers that have to be replaced, and the climate and control system. And with these repairs, we're trying to maintain a safe, efficient, and reliable facilities for our students, staff, and community. If I have any questions about any of those facility repairs. That's a lot of them. Okay. And for 26-27, these are our proposed capital projects. At the Aspire Academy, we are going to remodel the classrooms, replace the stadium lighting at the football field, the 4 servers that I spoke about earlier, upgrade the infrastructure, the weight room renovations at the high school, and replace the roof at the district office. I know there are a lot of other things that are going on. We're doing the HVAC and the boilers. All of those things are going on. The electrical, all of those things are going on as well. We remodel, we're building the PAC Center, remodel. So there are many things that have already taken place, the cafeteria. We're working on it little by little. And in previous workshops, the board approved for us to get $1.8 million from the fund balance to cover these capital projects, along with us using $100,000 from our cost savings and contingency from the construction project. I want to stop here a minute where she said cost savings from contingency. Now, you know we have some projects that are in place right now. He's saying I'm not at the mic. We have some projects going on right now. We have the PAC Center being built. So if we have cost savings from that, we'll be able to use some of that cost savings, so we may not need the $1.8 million from the fund balance. But we won't know that until that project is completed, which is around October 16th, is when it's scheduled to be completed, and they'll turn the keys over to us about a month later, November 16th. All right? Thank you. And the projected revenue for this upcoming year, the 26-27 year, $16,855,086. That's an increase of $85,573 from the 25-26 school year. Any questions?
Yes, I have a question. Or a concern. The $16,855,086, that's our last year? Is that what that says?
No, this is going to be for the 26-27.
Okay, so is $85,573 enough to do increased personnel? There's a personnel increase in the budget. There are some other increases, not talking about the capital projects, but is that enough, and what will it do to other personnel?
No, that's not enough. We do have another slide that we're gonna
Okay.
make a suggestion about what we can do with the difference.
Okay.
And this slide, what you were speaking about, Ms. Carter, this is our expenditures by, I have a breakdown where it shows the 25-26 and the 26-27. The difference from 25-26 school year to what we're projecting is $876,515. As you can see, the largest increase is in our salary and benefits of $1,124,084. You go.
So I'm going to talk about your question you asked.
Okay.
Excellent question.
Please.
Right? So our budget last year was, if you look, I'm going to walk closer to the slide here so that I can just see it. So last year, our budget was $16,769,513. This year, with everything that we have to put into the budget, mandates from the state, because we showed you some things, every teacher has to get how much on their salary? Who knows? What do we say? $2,000. $2,000 a sale. So we can't give the teachers something without giving the classified. I mean, we'd lose all our classified employees. So the bus drivers automatically get a step in 2%. So the right thing to do is to give everybody else a step in 2%. Well, they don't give us money for those things. So the difference here is $876,515. And what did our budget increase? Only by how much from the state? $85,000. So we do not have the money to be able to do that based upon the revenue. Now, some of it, we could have additional revenue, board members, but we don't get the fee in lieu of tax. Our fee in lieu of tax sometimes could give us anywhere from $250, depending upon the businesses that come to Allendale. And we're getting a huge one. We're getting Hampton Lumber, and we're not getting any money from Hampton Lumber coming to the company. Good thing they're a partner of ours, so they're doing some great things for us. But we're missing that money because the county council decided they weren't going to give us fee in lieu of tax, right? So we did raise taxes in Allendale a little bit, but we only did with a 1-year look back, and a 1-year look back only gives us like $100 and some $1,000. If we had done a 3-year look back, it would have given us about $400,000. So we would have been able to make up the difference a little bit more there. So no, we don't have the money.
So what's the solution?
Okay, here comes the solution. And then I'll come back after she tells you the solution. Okay. Then I'm gonna come back with some other ways we could do it.
Okay.
I'm gonna lead up to the solution, but I'm gonna go over some stuff and then I'm gonna give you the solution.
Okay.
This is our current fund balance. If you look back the last 5 years, right now the current fund balance is $14,863,850. The last few years we have not used any money in the fund balance to budget our to balance our budget. Again, the next slide shows the fund balance history. Compared to, as you can see, starting in 22, we've always added back to the fund balance. Last year, Dr. Cave did not want to add to the fund balance. It was $1,130,000. Due to the infrastructure and all the capital projects that we had, we actually opted to put the money into capital projects to fund some of those facility repairs. So with that being said, in order for us to balance the budget, we are looking to possibly use $800,000 from the fund balance. And that's just the estimate right now. We're still reviewing staff to make sure those are true vacancies. I'm waiting on everything from the funding from the state to see if we have more revenue than what's projected.
Now, there are a lot of ways that we can resolve the $800,000. They're not the ways that you want to be able to do it, okay? So there are ways to balance the budget. We can furlough staff, and furlough staff means that we can take days from them, okay? That's not the right thing to do for people, okay? In just my opinion. No. But those are some of the options. You can do that. We can increase class size and cut teachers, because in actuality, how many students do we have today, Ms. Badger? 771. How much staff do we have, Ms. Jackson? We have 176. Somebody do the math. Okay? What does that say? We have too much staff. I love every last one of them. But we are overstaffed for the number of children we have. So over the years, we have not cut staff. And that's not what we want to do, because it's everybody's livelihood. So we need to either take some of the fund balance, or furlough staff, or be able to increase class size. Because we could increase class size. Because right now at the elementary school, how many children you have? Come on. How many teachers you have? She won't answer that, all right? She's got 390, and she's got about 30 some teachers, all right? So in actuality, we could cut some of the staff. We could do the same thing at the middle school, because the classes are very small, aren't they, Dr. Dandy? There are about 14 kids per, and the regulations say what, Dr. Miller? About 20. Yeah, you can have 20 or 25 children in a class, all right? And in high school, you can actually have 30. So we are definitely overstaffed, but the right thing to do for children is to let the class sizes stay where they are. But we can cut the fat a little bit, all right? So over the next year or so, I'll be coming to you with ways that we can do that. And the way to do it is when somebody leaves, you don't replace that position. It's not cutting a person. It's when somebody resigns, you just don't fill it. Or when somebody retires, you just don't fill it. You do it with attrition, all right? Without telling somebody they don't have a job. But those are the options. And I will be talking with Dr. Dandy tomorrow, and I will be talking with Ms. Patterson. I just passed her a note to figure out some additional ways that we may be able to make some cuts before we come back to you, and Ms. Jackson and I'll be doing some talking. All right?
Or you can do the fund balance.
Or I can do the fund balance with your permission. Now, one good thing about that, I can give you this option. So remember I said, this past year, I chose not to take the money left over and put it into fund balance because we had so many things falling apart. I chose to put it in capital projects. We're going to have a cost savings probably. We always do. So hopefully, if we have to use the fund balance this year and we have a cost savings when the audit comes in December and we have that cost savings, it can be like a wash because you can vote to take that money and we can put that back in the fund balance, which replaces what we took out.
Okay.
I don't know.
Thank you, Dr. Cave. I'm not for people losing their jobs, of course, and class sizes increasing. I think we need to do whatever is best for the kids, and I don't know, sounds like fund balance to me, but I'm not sure what everybody else thinks.
Give us how many students that we can max out to be in each class?
Yes, ma'am. I can do that. I'll give you what the accreditation standards say, and then I'll give you the actual numbers of how many we have in each class. And I can give you two scenarios, what maximum would look like and what current looks like. I can do that for you. All right.
And also, I think I should have asked it earlier, with the Performing Arts Center, can you talk about how that's going to impact our students' use? I know it's going to help the community, but how is it going to help students?
Okay, so it's really going to help the middle school and the high school students. Well, it's going to help everyone. But the Performing Arts Center it was originally designed to hold 620 students. So I changed that configuration so that it would be a multi-purpose center, because I just did not feel as though we needed an auditorium to hold 620 people all the time. It was just sitting there with no other use. So it's a multi-purpose center. It has a half of a full-size basketball court, so they will be able to have PE in there. Right now, they share PE with the with the high school, and they can't have PE every semester, every quarter. This way, they'll be able to have PE every quarter and be able to schedule the children more effectively. So that's one benefit to the children. Another benefit to the children is that we'll have a warming kitchen there, so we will be able to use it to serve meals. Right now, they eat in the same cafeteria, which could kind of create some havoc. So they've worked with Ms. Busby to get the right kind of equipment in there, right, Ms. Busby? So we'll be able to use that as a warming kitchen to serve meals, so they can divide that up. And then the next thing is that it'll be a performing arts center, and we'll be able to use that for our productions. Right now, we have to have 3 shows or more shows at the Carolina Theater because we don't have a large enough place to be able to hold performances for our children. Our chorus can perform more, and we won't have to spend that money to go outside to do performances. And then the last thing is it can be the professional learning center. This is the largest space we have in the district to be able to put everyone in other than the gym. And that performing arts center has retractable seating, so it can hold 420 students, and 420 students are adults. We can push that retractable seating in, and it will have round tables. I think it has round tables, or maybe 2 at a table. That we can roll out, and we can have it for professional learning. And then the next thing is that we can rent it out to community for use as well.
Thank you.
So it definitely is a multi-purpose center.
Dr. Cave, I have a question. If we're trying to improve student performance, is it wise to increase the classroom sizes right now?
To increase student performance? Well, it depends on what class sizes we're going to increase. It's not the wisest thing to do is to increase class size, but it might be the only thing that we can do sometimes if our budget. One thing about it, Ms. Maynor, and I appreciate the question, is that we're not going to be able to sustain it at this rate because we can't go into fund balance every year. At some point, we're going to have to cut the fat. All right? Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes. Are you at the end?
Almost.
Oh,
You
okay.
got another question?
No, it's about something that we discussed at the last
That's fine.
board planning meeting,
Okay.
budget meeting.
Okay.
So go ahead and ask it now or wait?
You can ask it.
Yeah, we talked about having a company come in to outsource the food service department. Like there would be a company come in and run the food service department. And I wanted to know what are the benefits from that, and if people are going to lose their jobs, and what's going to be the average cost, and how long does the contract last? There are so many questions. So where are we on that?
Okay, that's the next slide. The benefits, menu variety, student participation, cost management, staffing support. Right now, we are getting all the RFPs in, so the due date is, they have to be in by Wednesday, 2 o'clock. We'll go through, review. No employees will not be losing a job. The employees that we have now will still be with Allendale County School District.
Okay.
If something happens and we need to bring in new employees, it will be up to the company if they can hire the new employees.
Okay.
And cost-wise, once we get the bids and everything open, we'll be able to provide you with that information at the next meeting, or if we need to give it to you before.
So Ms. Busby is here, and she's going to give you some of, Ms. Busby's here, and she'll give you some of the benefits of moving in this direction.
Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening.
One of the things that we were looking at for the management company is to offer students a bigger choice whenever they come in the cafeteria. Right now, it's required for us by the state to offer an entree, 2 entrees for the students. Right now, what we do is we offer them what we normally have on our lunch menu, and we also offer them chef salads. At the high school, they have the choice of nachos, but that's not every day. What we're trying to do is to gain participation and to offer students more of a variety so that they'll be able to come and enjoy whatever meals they have. With the management company, they're going to be able to have a buying power that the district does not have. When they come in, they are able to purchase food at a lower cost than the district would be able to purchase that food. And so by them being able to purchase this food at a lower cost, then it offers more choices for the children to have. So whereas we now can offer these children 2 entrees, but if it happened to be that these students don't like salad and they don't like what's on the menu, then we have students that are not eating lunch. As you all know, the food service department is funded federally, and we're funded not through anything else, but we get all of our income through students eating meals. We have a reimbursement. We keep track of how many students eat breakfast. We keep track of how many students eat lunch, how many eat snacks. And so at the end of the month, I do a claim. And so that claim is only for what those students have eaten. I can't include anyone else. So the main thing to do is to try to make the meals more enticing to the students so that we can increase participation. The participation is where the funds are going to come from. We also have other avenues. We do grants. We do a fresh fruit and vegetable grant. We also, I just got for the first time this year, got a South Carolina grant for produce, which is actually a help to the program. I'm always looking for some sort of way to get some income in order to, give the kids what they like. A lot of times, I did surveys when I first took this position, and a lot of the students, they like chicken wings. Well, you all know that we have to follow a certain criteria for the state, for USDA. And so they can't have wings every time, but we want to be able to offer them something else that is just as good and to get them to come in to the cafeteria in order for us to get those funds. So we're just hoping that this was something that Dr. Cave, a vision that she had, and this was a suggestion that she made as far as the management company is concerned. So therefore, when she came and said that this is something that she would like to try, then I started reaching out and trying to do research about these management companies. We're not sure if this will be the best route for the district to take, but we'll know more when we get those proposals in, and those proposals are going to tell us how much it would actually cost in order for these people to come in and offer these things for the students. Not only the food, but they also offer like education for the kids, nutritional education for the students. And so we don't know what's going to happen until we get those bids and see what they have to offer. It may be that what they have to offer is not going to benefit us. So then we may not use the company at all. But we have to get those bids, open up those proposals, and then once we see and balance out what we've spent and what they're offering us to see whether that's the best way for the district to go. And we do have people that are consulting with us, people from the state. Also, I spoke with the head of the SNA. He's willing to help me because this will be my first time, dealing with an RFP. And so because of that, I try to get as much resources as I can to make sure that we're making a good decision for the district. And ultimately, it's not my choice, but I can only do recommendations.
Okay. Thank you. You cleared up a lot. Thank you for all of your hard work.
Yes, ma'am.
We appreciate it.
Do we have any school in area that is doing this?
Yes, Hampton County, they actually switched over to a management company for this current year. They started the process last year because it's not a quick process. It takes a while. And so they started it last year, and the company that won their bid was Sodexo. So Sodexo is one of the management companies that's a part of our bid too. So we have about maybe 4 or 5 companies that have sent in to say that they want to be a part of this. They want to see, they came in, we had a site visit, they looked at our facilities, they were very excited about what we have and the equipment that we have. So we do have somebody in the area that just started with this. Hampton County is one of them. I think the closest of the other is Aiken County, and I've spoken with those directors as well, and it seems to be going okay for them. You know, kids are not going to like everything no matter what. You can't satisfy everybody, but we're just trying to do whatever we can do. I'm definitely trying to do research to make sure that we make the best decision when it comes down to a management company, because I was kind of afraid too. Nobody's losing their job, but you know, they will have the opportunity, the employees will have the opportunity to switch over to a management company if they choose to. Some of our employees have been here for a long time, and it's not in their best interest to switch over to a management company because of how much they have invested in retirement. So it would be silly for them to leave, and they have 19 years with us. So they have that opportunity to do that if they choose to, but Dr. Cave has chosen to grandfather everybody that we have into the program. I mean, grandfather everybody we have, you know, with the district, and not move them over. But any newcomers that we may have, they would, if we keep the management company, would be with that management company. And the contract lasts for 1 year, but we have 4 years to continue to renew the contract before we have to put out another bid in order for it to do it. So if we have it 1 year and it doesn't work out, we do not have to, we're not contracted, we're not obligated to stay with them. But if, you know, if we choose to, that's for us. And we won't have to do a new RFP. We'll just continue with that. And then after that 4th year, that 5th year, then we'll have to put out a new bid.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Busby.
Thank you.
Any other questions? These are the next steps. On Wednesday, we'll be reading, the budget to the Department of Education, having to, by May 14th, preparing the budget for the newspaper. The second reading is on May 18th, and the final reading, June 29th. This time, any questions, comments, concerns?
We thank you for all your hard work.
Yes, ma'am. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. And can I get a motion to accept the first reading of the budget of the 26-27 budget as presented?
I move to accept the first reading of the 26-27 budget.
I second.
It's been moving properly second that we accept the 26-27 school year budget. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposers? So moved. Thank you, Ms. Jackson.
Thank you.
We now have our Superintendent Student of the Month and Student Recognition, followed by Employee Recognitions.
Okay, I thank everyone for their patience. We had quite a bit tonight. We'll have quite a bit next time. This is my favorite part, where we get to recognize our staff and our students for the wonderful things that they do. So we're going to recognize our Student of the Month, and that is Ashanti Bynum. Is Ashanti here? Come on down, Ashanti. Okay, Ashanti, come stand here and let me tell you all about yourself, what they say about you. They say Ashanti is a fourth grade student who consistently follows rules and shows respect at all times. She works hard to reach her goals and takes pride in her progress. Recently, she improved by 1 grade level on iReady, and both reading increased by 52 points and math by 19 points, which reflects her dedication and effort. Ashanti is also a kind and helpful classmate, always willing to support other students when needed. I love having her in my class, and I'm proud of her achievement. Let's congratulate Ashanti Bond. So Ashanti, you get a certificate, you get a gift card. Is this her bag too? And you get a little bag of things. Congratulations. All right. Next, we have our Student of the Month from Allendale Fairfax Middle School, and that is Gage Air. Is Gage here? Yeah. I knew Gage wouldn't miss this. So let's see what they're saying about you, Gage. Students trust him and often seek, he's reading right along with me, and often seek him out as someone that they can talk to when they need guidance, encouragement, or a calm listening ear. His ability to build positive relationships helps students feel seen, supported, and valued. Let's congratulate Gage here. Congratulations! And here is your certificate, gift card, and your bag. Congratulations. And then our high school student of the month, I'm not sure whether Aiden is here. Aiden Isham. Aiden is truly a joy to have at school. Every day he walks in with a positive attitude and eagerness to learn. He takes responsibility for himself in a way that stands out. Always gives his full effort, whether he's in the class or on the track field. Aiden is a kind young gentleman who quietly leads by example. Let's congratulate Aiden Isham. And he's probably at track, more than likely. Okay? And now let's do our staff of the month. And our staff of the month from Allendale Fairfax Elementary is Bridget Gilliard. Is Miss Gilliard here? All right. Miss Gilliard is a paraprofessional for our pre-K 3 class. She is very dedicated and loving employee. She is always willing to help out. She not only supports pre-K, she also supports other grade levels when needed. Ms. Gilliard keeps a positive attitude and always encouraging her co-workers. You see that smile she has, right? So let's congratulate Ms. Bridget Gilliard. Congratulations so very much. Thank you so much. And here's a little bag. All right, then I always pronounce this name wrong in the beginning, so I'm just going to call him Mr. Truss. Allendale Fairfax Middle School, Mr. Truss. Students trust him and often seek him out as someone they can talk to when they need guidance, encouragement, or a calm listening ear, just I guess like Gage. So let's congratulate Mr. Trust. I don't think he's here as the staff member of the month. And then next, we have Miss Sedalia Sanders. I don't think she's here, but she's the staff member at the high school. She exemplifies a definition of being a helping hand. She's always willing to step in and help wherever needed. She's willing to help, has a positive attitude and really genuinely cares for everyone. Let's congratulate Miss Sanders. And last but not least, we could not make it without him. Our bus driver employee of the month is Miss Angela Scott. Not sure she's here, but Miss Scott serves as a substitute driver, and she consistently demonstrates the dedication, reliability, and teamwork. She's truly a team player, and she's willing to drive any route in our district and reports to her. Then she drives for our district, and then she reports to another full-time job. So let's congratulate Miss Scott. I have two additional things that I'd like to congratulate teachers on, and I forgot one. You'll have to remind me, Doctor. We had two teachers who won innovative teaching grants from Savannah River Nuclear Site, and I believe one is Miss Whitley Rogers from the middle school, and then Miss Roper Jackson from the elementary school. So they took the challenge to write the grant, and they won the grant. So we're really proud of those teachers. They'll be recognized at a ceremony in Newberry Hall on May 21st at the awards ceremony. So let's congratulate them. Thank you. Something else I'd like to highlight tonight is our JROTC. They had accreditation, and they did a magnificent job. Their accreditation evaluation came out of 100 points. They had an impressive score of 95. So let's congratulate that battalion. Awarded the Honor Unit Distinction. And so we need to congratulate Major Norman Fisher as well as Sergeant Chief Gordon, all right? And those students, because they're doing a magnificent job. And last but not least, I want to recognize a couple of other persons, and that's Andrew Houghton and Fernanda Millan, because they are from the South Carolina Governor's School of Science and Mathematics. They have been recognized for their outstanding achievement and leadership potential. So that's Fernanda Millan and Andrew Houghton from the Governor's School of Science and Mathematics. So they have received a full scholarship that they will attend a week of school there at the Governor's School of Science and Math. So we're excited. We'll make sure they get there, and they're going to enjoy it, because Governor's School of Science and Math takes those bright minds and they develop them into something amazing. So congratulations. So for those of you listening, we do some great things in Allendale County Schools. So take a chance on us and come back. It's ready for the Allendale comeback. That's it.
Okay, again, we would like to thank each and every one of you for coming out this afternoon to support our schools. At this time, we're going to recess into executive session. You're more than welcome to stay if you want to, but if not, have a safe trip. We'll be discussing personnel updates, retirement, resignation, termination, hiring, transfer, also discussion of negotiation, incidents, and proposal contractual arrangements. Thank you.
If everybody leaves, we can do it here. If everybody doesn't leave, we can go right here in the back room, right there. Yes.